If you haven't built this amazing character yet, you should do it right now. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. Mortefi is one of the best sub-DPS in the game. He can deal insane amounts of damage and is one of the few characters in the game that has off-field damage. Alongside this, he can also provide buffs from his outrow. Without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting with his kit. Mortefi has a 4-hit basic attack combo, and each hit gives him Forte circuit stacks. He gains his Forte circuit stacks from his intro skill, resonance skill, and basic attacks. Mortefi restores additional Forte stacks if his attacks hit within 5 seconds after using his resonance skill. So always make sure to take benefit of this to fill his Forte circuit faster. When the Forte circuit is filled, his resonance skill is replaced by Fury Fugue. It has higher multiplier than the normal resonance skill and gives concerto energy. Now the best part of his kit, his resonance liberation. After using his liberation, Mortefi will apply a special state called Burning Rhapsody state to all party members for 10 seconds. Using basic attack or heavy attacks of any character in this state will launch coordinated hits. Basic attacks trigger only 1 coordinated hit, while heavy attacks trigger 2 hits. With his first sequence, these attacks work with resonance skill too. It has an energy cost of 125 and restores 20 concerto energy. Mortefi's outrow skill gives a massive 38% heavy attack damage amplification, which makes him the best support for characters who rely on heavy attacks like Jian, Donjin, Jianshin. This buff will be removed if you switch out the character. In his first inherent passive, for 8 seconds after using Mortefi's resonance skill, the damage of his second resonance skill, that can be casted when the Forte circuit is filled, increased by 25%, and the second passive gradually increases the damage of the coordinated hits from his resonance liberation. For his talent priority, prioritize his liberation, followed by his Forte circuit, then his basic attacks and resonance skill, followed by the intro skill. Moving on to his sequences. For a 4-star, all of his sequences are amazing. The first sequence, as I said earlier, makes his resonance liberation's coordinated hits work with resonance skill as well. His liberation will launch 2 coordinated hits alongside every resonance skill. The second sequence gives 10 resonance energy to Mortefi after casting the echo skill, which is quite nice. The third sequence gives slight DPS increase by increasing the crit damage of his coordinated hits by 30%. The fourth sequence is unarguably his best sequence. Usually Mortefi's liberation lasts for 10 seconds, which is already good. But this sequence increases its duration by 7 seconds. That is, his liberation will now last for 17 seconds. This gives a massive increase in his DPS. The fifth sequence fires some additional hits alongside both the resonance skills. And the sixth sequence is his second best sequence. It gives a 20% attack buff for 20 seconds to the whole team after using his liberation. This is very good, but you should not risk your pity to specifically pull for this sequence. Moving on to his weapons. The best weapon for Mortefi is the standard 5-star weapon, Static Mist. It has crit rate, which is great for Mortefi's personal damage, and additionally from its passive, it provides 12.8% energy regen, which will help you reach the required amount of energy regen. It also buffs the attack of the next character you switch into after using his outrow skill. In short, the best weapon for Mortefi's damage and buffing your DPS. For 4-star options, Pistol 26, the craftable weapon, is one of his best options. The other 4-star alternatives are slightly better than this weapon, but it is easier to take the craftable weapon to max refinement. And with max refinement, it gets better than the other 4-star alternatives if they are at low refinements. The Pistol 26 gives up to 24% attack buff on the condition of not taking any damage. You can use the new gacha weapon, Relativistic Jet. It gives resonance energy and gives an attack buff, which is nice. Nova Burst could be his next best option and very close to Relativistic Jet, but it comes with a condition of having to dash or dodge 3 times. The BP weapon, Thunderbolt, is a more consistent alternative to Nova Burst. It can give up to 21% resonance skill damage bonus, but you don't need to specifically buy this. The Undying Flame is another consistent weapon option, as you only need to do an intro skill to get the resonant skill damage buff. For 3-star options, you can use the Pistol of Night as a placeholder. Moving on to his echoes, the best echo set to use will be the Moonlit Clouds. It provides energy regen from the 2-piece set effect, which is nice, and the 4-piece gives 22.5% attack bonus to the next character you switch into after using outro skill. This is the best set for generally any sub-DPS, and Mortefi is no exception. Another amazing part of this set is the Impermanence Heron. This echo skill restores 10 resonance energy to the character, and after casting outro skill within 15 seconds of using it, the next character's damage is boosted by 12%. Currently, there is no other set you should be using aside from this one. Before we move on to his echo stats, it is important we talk about his energy requirements, as his Resonance Liberation is extremely important for his damage and filling the Concerto energy bar. Thankfully, his liberation cost is not that high. It is only 125. You can get away with 10 to 20% energy regen or higher. I recommend getting 20% energy regen as it is a safe amount to have. We get 10% for free from the Moonlit set, so we only need 10% from the gears. For his echo stats, on the 4-cost echo, go for either crit rate or crit damage depending on your stats. On the 3-cost echo, go for double fusion damage bonus, or a combination of 1 attack percent and 1 fusion damage bonus is not far behind. It is only 3 to 4% worse. And attack percent on the 1-cost echoes. For substats, prioritize energy regen until required, followed by crit rate or crit damage, followed by attack percent, followed by liberation damage bonus or flat attack. Your ideal crit ratio should be around 60% crit rate and around 250% or higher crit damage. Moving on to his teams. Mortefi, being a very strong sub-DPS with amazing off-field damage and good Concerto generation, he can fit into most of the teams as a sub-DPS. That being said, Mortefi's outro skill makes him best pair with DPS characters that deal a significant amount of heavy attack damage. Jian, Donjin, and Jianshin are few such characters. Mortefi is a great pair with Jinsi. Even though she doesn't need the heavy attack buff, she needs characters who can deal coordinated attacks. I am not sure if Mortefi's coordinated hits at S0 works with Jinsi's basic attacks in her enhanced state, as that damage is considered as resonant skill damage. If you guys can test it, do let me know in the comments. If the coordinated attacks doesn't work, you will need to use Mortefi's Liberation at the start of his rotation to start gaining Forte stacks for Jinsi, unless you have his S1. His 10 seconds downtime could also be a problem, which can be fixed with his 4th sequence. While Mortefi can work with Jinsi, I still believe Yuanwu is a better F2P alternative for Jinsi. So the basic team archetype is a DPS, Mortefi, and a sustained support. Mortefi has a great synergy with Yuhu, as she can buff coordinated hits. Verena or Shorekeeper are a better option as they buff the whole team, but if you are using them in other teams, Yuhu is a great alternative. Here are some team examples: Jian, Mortefi, Verena; Rover, Mortefi, Baiji; Danjin, Mortefi, Yuhu. You can create many more such teams because he is very flexible. Now let's move on to his rotation and combos. Mortefi's rotation is very easy and straightforward. You first start with his intro skill, followed by his resonance skill. This will fill his Forte circuit, so immediately use his second resonance skill. Using his resonance skill creates a 5 seconds window where his basic attacks generate additional Forte stacks. So after using the second resonance skill, immediately follow it with his basic attacks to fill his Forte circuit. Use his second resonance skill again. Then use his Liberation. This will fill up his Concerto energy bar. Use the Impermanence Heron Echo skill and swap Cancel into your main DPS.
Wait a minute!
This is the ideal rotation, but obviously it's not possible to smoothly execute it. You can shorten the rotations by doing perfect dodges, as they also generate Concerto energy. Here are the few things you should keep in mind. You should always use Mortefi's Liberation and Outro skill together. That is, you need to use his liberation right before you swap to your main DPS. His liberation generates 20 Concerto energy, which is slightly less than a quarter of the Concerto bar. So keeping that in mind, plan your liberation when you are approximately 20 Concerto away from filling your Concerto bar. When you use his first resonance skill, there's a 5 seconds window where his basic attacks will generate additional Concerto energy, so make sure to always take advantage of that. And with this, I will end this video. If I missed anything, I will add it in the pinned comments. If you guys found this video helpful, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe for more Wuthering Waves content. Thanks for watching.